Hey guys, today in the garden we're going to be planting our brassicas and our onions. I'll show you my process and what I do. It's pretty simple. First thing I do is I go through and estimate my spacing, which these are a little over a foot, probably about 16 inches. I didn't actually measure anything. And that'll be good for my cabbages and stuff. My kohlrabis and some of that other stuff I'll probably put anywhere from 6 to 8 inches just because it doesn't seem to need as much space to grow. When I come to plant them, I'll either dig the hole with a little trowel, which is pretty easy, and if the soil's soft enough, one of my favorite tools is a dibber. And then you can just punch that down in there, and it leaves a hole almost the same exact size as the plugs will be pulling out of that tray. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through this bed, mark out my stuff, and then I'll go back and start putting in the plants. So with these trays, these plug trays like this, they sometimes you can just grab them and gently pull and they'll pop right out, but these are some younger plants. They grew really fast because I put them in that compost, but I'm afraid that if I just go to pull them, I'm gonna rip the roots apart. So if you look on the bottom, these trays have these holes like this. I find just a deck screw is about the perfect size, and you can go through and just give them a little poke, and that plant will be loose, and you can just pull that plug out, and you can see it's well established, has good roots. But you pull it out that way and it's guaranteed you're not gonna hurt your plants. So next, I just go through and drop some plants next to where I'm gonna be putting them in the ground. Then we'll go back and bury them, water them in real well. So there's one of my holes that I use the dibber for, and here's one of my plugs. You can see it fits right down in there perfect. You can just firm it a little bit. Then I stand my plant up and kind of scoop everything and then just firm it in just a little bit. Make sure everything's secure. So I showed y'all how I do my plugs. My onions, I plant in these flats like this because onion roots are usually pretty thick, chunky things that are really easy to separate. So it's just easier for me to grow them this way. The hardest part about this is getting started, and you just kind of gotta plunge in and go for it. Once you get the first clumps out, it gets a little easier as you go. But as you loosen your soil, what you wind up with are these onions just like that. And that's what we'll be planting. Got our, let's see here, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, green and red cabbage. I got a few kohlrabis and chard planted over there off camera. Then I got all my onions in. So I don't particularly like doing transplants because it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I do love that in gardening there's almost no instant gratification. But when you do transplants, you've got a bed of veggies growing. and that's always nice. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a look at the potatoes. I realized we planted them in the video but never came back and looked at them. So there's one of our beds, and that was the first one we planted, red New Orleans, and they were a little further along. The potatoes had bigger sprouts on them. And these other two beds are russets, and you can see they're making it, but they're just not near as big as the others. And this bed here, it's the one I pulled that wire panel out of, and it's kind of funny. I left some cucumbers on there last year, so I'm fighting cucumbers like weeds, and because that trellis panel was on there, the birds have been pooping seeds into it all winter, so I've also been pulling tree seeds like crazy, which is just one of those things you kind of learn as you go. Pull the panels out in the fall and you don't have that problem in the spring. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.